Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 6 review of series number 12. Series number 12 is Fine Cut Wintergreen, and as you just saw, it will be the first of 3 CN Smokeless Tobacco Company products, and it is their decade. So let's take a look at the packaging. So you have a pretty crappy black plastic lid on a not so great black plastic can. On this lid and can are some absolutely horrific stickers. We got OD green with white and silver highlights. We got some canary yellow going on there. It's $1.09. Unfortunately, that's not what I paid for it. But if I did, even that would probably be too much. Going around to the side, we got some branding, a barcode, some manufacturer's information, the warning label scrunched with the $1.09 above, and back to the branding. On the back of these, you have a letter and digit code in yellow pinpoint ink. I don't know if it's going to show up on this camera. They're 6 digits and letters long. I don't know what they mean. I highly suspect that no matter when this was made, it doesn't really matter. I will now check to see which name they're going by on this can, because I forgot to do that beforehand. By the way, this product is 100% imported tobacco. Well, I'm going to have to pull out the magnifying glass. No, they're going by CN Smokeless Tobacco Company of Grover, North Carolina. Sometimes this company will have it as Cheyenne International of Grover, North Carolina. But on this can, it is the CN Smokeless. So let's get into this thing. Yeah, it's actually cutting fairly easy. The plastic hands on these are so bad to complement the absolutely horrific lid that sometimes when you press in with your thumbnail on these, both the lid and the can give way and you can't cut the band. But it is cut. It's wintergreen. It looks sort of fine cut, but it's not fine cut strands. It's sort of, if you looked at it under like a magnifying glass, it'd sort of be like tiny little square discs. So I'm not overly hopeful about the pinching. And no, I will not be doing my crappy packing job on this, because even if I was good at packing, I don't think packing would make a difference. That is basically what it looks like. All right. So I'm going to take a pinch of this, or try to take a pinch of this, and then I'll have to hit the pause button to clean off my desk and wipe off my hand. Smell is wintergreen. There's nothing shady in the background. I was bracing for a that alcohol background thing. I'm not detecting it. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just, the wintergreen's covering it. It doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell terrible. The cut, I can already tell, is going to be a problem, but you can see it just falling apart. So back in a moment. And I am back. Okay, to be fair, it's not actually what I was bracing for. I was bracing for much worse than this. It's actually not terrible. I would never buy it outside of reviewing, and I would suggest to anyone watching this that you take a skip. But it's not, at the same time, there's no shady background smell or flavor. The only thing about it is it's a very strong, unnatural wintergreen. It's a very it's just too strong and too all covering, which tells me they're trying to cover something. The wintergreen in this, let me put it this way: the wintergreen in this is not an oil that's come from the eastern tea berry bush, which is what wintergreen is. This wintergreen was mixed up in a lab in a beaker, and then carefully handled until it got to the tobacco product. So where it's, it's not, oh my God, why do I have this in my mouth? At the same time, in the back of my head, I am sort of thinking like, it's a strong wintergreen. There is a significant burn. There's going to be some nicotine there, but it's not going to be terribly strong. The cut is horrific. The problem with these and the Swisher products are that this isn't dipping tobacco. They're using, they've basically minced some like loose cigarette tobacco and put it in a can. And Swisher's the same way. I mean, people are like, oh, it's leftovers from their cigars, but you know what? That actually may be the case. The stuff isn't strands. It's not strands, and even in the long cuts, it's not strands. It's very small, like square sheets, tiny sheet, sort of like the reconstituted tobacco that's in manufactured cigarettes. You got a cigarette lying around, cut it open. This is sort of like that, only smaller and with a higher moisture count. It's an American company, and it is, employing, hopefully, Americans. But it's not doing anything for the tobacco industry larger, because it's imported tobacco that they've probably got at some ridiculously reduced price and is of low quality. So, I mean, there's not really much to be happy about with this. It's a subpar product with subpar nicotine. Flavor that's all right, but at the same time gives you pause because it's a little bit too all right. Like what did they use to get this fairly reasonable? Even the burns a little bit. The burns much more. And every time I use this stuff, I start spitting foam. That's the other thing. Like my mouth dries out. It has like opposite effect of what dip should do, which is a little disturbing in itself. So here's the ridiculously bad can. It's on par with a Pinkerton, but whereas Pinkerton has a slightly reasonable, well, this is the lid, obviously, not the can. Where Pinkerton has a reasonable can, this just sort of bends around too. I'd give it a skip. I really would. I mean, if you had to go to this lowest of low tiers, I would go with the Longhorn product. It's not good, but it's not shady. It's from a reputable company, and believe me, they're not good, but at the same time, there's nothing shady about them, and really that is a big deal, okay? Because you may not know what I'm talking about until you get stuck doing a review of, Redwood. And then you will know this is what he was talking about. Yeah. There's levels of bad, and then below them, that's where shady starts. That's where you start questioning whether you should put the product in your mouth or not. So when it comes to these third tier products, I would have to say the Longhorn every time. It's just a less processed, less time taken Timberwolf, which in itself isn't the greatest product, but this is them probably getting wholesale deals from some third world country on God knows what kind of tobacco, and them processing it. It must just register as, okay, as long as we get it really, really small pieces. There's no cling. It's moving around in my mouth. It's coming up over my teeth, and it's getting on my tongue. So I'm going to wrap this up. I wish I had something nice to say, but at the same time, I sort of have to be truthful too. And there's not going to be, for the remaining of this series, there's not going to be too much nice to say, unfortunately, except for the Stoker's product at the end that has come in along with the Silver Creek product. So this has been the review of Decade Fine Cut Wintergreen. I'd take a pass. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, cleaning off my desk again during this review because every time I took the lid off that, more crap came out from somewhere. I'd like to say hello and thank you. Now, depending on which page I go to on my channel, I get two or three different counts on subscribers. So I don't know what's going on there. There's people that supposedly subscribed 2 days ago that don't seem to be there anymore. Maybe they left. I don't know. There's other people that are there from 2 days ago that I didn't get notification for. But these four gentlemen I did get notification for, so I do thank you. And they are Kenneth Blackledge, Clayton Whitehead, Kevin Smith, and Ethan Jones. Guys, I do greatly appreciate it, so hello and thank you. Do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors. I got the stuff coming out, like it's moving all over. Dirty Pat Walsh, Wayside Lee 83, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel here on YouTube. I do hope everyone is well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.